Hello dear students of class 12th. Today we are going to take up the second unit from your book that is titled Forgetting by Robert Lind. Today we are going to do the question and answers from your chapter. So the first question we have in the discussion part of the chapter is why is the writer astonished by the list of articles lost by railway travelers? The writer is astonished by the list of articles lost by the railway travelers because it indicates the prevalence of forgetfulness among the people. The list of items lost and now on sale at a great London station include various things, among them precious items too. Second question, why does the list speak of what does the list speak of the travelers? Why do you think the London railway station published the list? The list speak about how rampant the existence of forgetfulness is, especially among railway travelers. The London railway station published the list to display how absent-minded the travelers are and also to sell the articles collected by them. Third question, list the objects that most men remember. The items that most men remember include the dates of good vintages, appointments for lunch and dinner, names of actors and actresses and cricketers and footballers and murderers, what the weather was like in the long past August, and the venue of the provincial hotel at which he had a vile meal during the summer. He seldom forget a single item of clothing. He never forget to shut the front door when leaving home or to turn off the lights before going upstairs. In short, an ordinary man remember almost everything that he is expected to remember or to do the right thing at the right moment, till it is time to go to bed. Question number 4. Why does the writer feel that it should be easy for most people to remember to take their medicine? The writer feels that it should be easy for most people to remember to take their medicine because it is supposed to be taken before, during or after meals, and the meals itself should be a reminder of it. However, the fact remains that few but the moral giant remember to take their medicine regularly. Question number 5. Does the writer agree with the theory that many people fail to remember to take their medicine at the appointed hours because of their antipathy to pills or potion? Give reason for your answer. I don't agree with the writer's theory that many people fail to remember to take their medicine at the appointed hour because of their antipathy of pills. Even a lifelong devotee of medicine like the author or a moral giant forget to take their medicine on time. What kind of people? Question number 6. What kind of people tend to forget things more on trains? How does the writer explain this behavior on their part? According to the writer, ordinary man arrives at his destination with all his bags and trunks safe. It is only the young and the sportsmen who forget things. A considerable number of footballs and cricket bats, for instance, are forgotten. The writer explained this behavior on the part of the sportsmen as returning from their games. They have their imagination still filled with a vision of the playing field, and heads are among the stars or their hearts in their boots, as they recall their exploits or their errors. They are abstracted from the world outside them. As for the rest of the day, they are citizens of dreamland. Question 7. Why does the writer consider the absent-mindedness in people such as anglers and poets a virtue? The writer considers the absent-mindedness in people such as anglers and poets a virtue because it is said that they are most imaginative of the men. The anglers are constantly inventing the most significant lies on the journey home after a day's fishing, therefore are bound to be a little absent-minded in their behavior. Their fishing rods of reality are forgotten as they daydream over the feats of the fishing rods of utopia. Similarly, the absent-mindedness in poets is a virtue as their minds are filled with matters more glorious. They are men who are making the best in life and therefore have no time to remember the mediocre. They, like other great intellectuals like Socrates and Coleridge, have souls above such things. Question number 8. How are writers and composers different from statesmen? The writer and composers are different from statesmen because comparatively they have exceptional power of memory. The statesmen, on the other hand, have extraordinary bad memory. The writer challenges that if two statesmen attempt to recall the same event, like what happened at some cabinet meeting, each of them will tell you that the other's story is so inaccurate that either he has a memory like a sieve or he is an audacious perverter of the truth. Also, the frequency with which the facts in the autobiography or speeches of statesmen are challenged, it feels like the world has not yet begun to produce ideal statesmen. Men who, like great poets, have the genius of memory and of intellectual combined. Question number 9. At times, writers make a humorous statement to ridicule or censure. Such a statement is called sarcasm. Give an example of sarcasm from the above essay. An instance of sarcasm from the essay would be the story of the father towards the end of the chapter. The father, having offered to take his baby out in a perambulator, was tempted by the sunny morning to pause on his journey and slip into a public house for a glass of beer. Leaving the perambulator outside, he disappeared through the door of the saloon bar. A little later, his wife had to do some shopping, which took her past the public house, where to her horror she discovered her sleeping baby. Indignant at her husband's behavior, she decided to teach him a lesson. She wheeled away the perambulator, picturing to herself his terror when he would come out and find the baby gone. She arrived home anticipating with angry relish the white face and quivering lips that would soon appear with the news that the baby had been stolen. But to her utter surprise, the husband, on returning home, showed the least concern about the missing baby, as he had completely forgotten about it. This is an ideal picture of sarcasm directed on the institution of family and the dangerous lapse by the absent-minded father. Question number 10. Most of us, I fear, are born with prosaically efficient memories. Is the writer appreciative of the kind of memory most ordinary men have? The writer is appreciative of the kind of memory most ordinary men have. Otherwise, it would be extremely difficult to sustain and protect the institution of family in a great modern city. Now, in the second part, we have some extracts and essays from the story. Acha. Read the following extracts from the essay and answer the questions that follow. First, yet even if I have the stuff in my pockets, I forgot about it as soon as the hour approaches at which I ought to swallow it. What is the stuff referred to? These lines are from the essay titled Forgetting, written by Robert Lind. The stuff being referred to is the medicine. The writer, despite having his medicine in his pocket, forget to swallow them. What are the writer's feelings towards the stuff in his pocket? Tick the correct option. Antipathy, delight, devotion. The writer's feelings towards the stuff in his pocket is devotion. What are the two terms the writer uses to describe men who do not forget to swallow the stuff? The two terms that the writer uses to describe men who do not forget to swallow the stuff are moral giants and long devotee. Second part, they are abstracted from the world outside them. Memories prevent them from remembering to do such small prosaic things as take a ball or the bat with them when they leave the train. Who are they the writer is speaking of? The second part of the extract, these lines are taken from the essay title Forgetting, written by Robert Lind. The writer is using the word they to refer to youngsters and sportsmen who usually forget to collect their items from the train. Why are they abstracted from the outside world? They are abstracted from the outside world as returning from the games. They have their imagination filled with a vision of the playing field and they recall their exploits or their errors. What is the author's attitude towards them? Tick the correct option. Reproachful, indulgent, annoyed. Our option would be indulgent. That was all for the question and answer section of the essay titled Forgetting. Thank you so much for watching.